Good afternoon everyone and welcome to Thirsty Thursday. My name is Claire Manning from Thirsty Brush and I'm going to be showing you another card making video today with some stamping, with some heat embossing, a bit of stenciling, masking, bit of everything thrown at this one. But I'm hoping it will still give us a nice, clean, modern look to our card. So I hope you're all well. This week I've had a bit of sunshine and a bit of flurries of snow, but it's been very, very cold. But I have to ask, has anybody been for haircuts and to the pub or anything like that? The most I've done is my daughter wanted to go to Primark. So we went shopping after work the other day, which was crazy, but it was very organised. And once we got in there, it was fine. So tell me what you've been up to with the lockdown easing. So let's get on with some crafting. I'm going to be using one of our Geo Art designs from late part of last year, and I'm going to use the butterfly. So this is the butterfly and owl set, which lots of you have already, but there are still a few available if you're looking for it. So I'm going to stamp, heat emboss, and then mask the butterfly off. So just before I start any stamping, so I've got my card blank ready already. I've got a piece of grey that's slightly smaller, and then I've already cut this piece of white that's smaller again for our main piece of card to work on. So that's the piece I'll take now. Grab my Eureka. And let's pop that in. Let me know as well if you've been doing much crafting lately. Oh, news on new stuff. There is a slight delay in the next Create and Craft show. However, look out on social media after this show. I will be announcing a show that I will be doing back in the Stamps by Me studio next week, which I absolutely cannot wait for. It's been a long time since I've travelled up there. Obviously during the lockdown we weren't supposed to be travelling, but now things are easing. I can do that travel. I've also had my jab, so it makes it better for me for travelling, just feel that little bit safer. And of course it looks like their jab reduces transmission somewhat as well, so that makes me feel better about being safe when I do go to Tony's studio too, that I'm putting people at you know, not putting anybody at unnecessary risk. Obviously we do masks and things like that as well, so all good, all going in the right direction. So I want this butterfly to kind of be at this angle on the card. Let's just grab my what's it called, anti-static bag. Okay, and my luminosity embossing ink. And I'm going to heat emboss in white. Now, I know that may seem like, oh, it's not going to show up much white on white, but we're going to add some colour later on in different ways in and around the butterfly that will still make the lovely white embossing powder pop. And you still get that geo look and design, but just in a softer way, I suppose. So that's great. Let's just pop that off. I'm leaving the stamp on there at the moment because I'm going to need that again before I do the masking part. So let's get that aside and get some paper to catch my powder. So this is the pure white embossing powder. Okay. And let's get that heat set, and that's the first stage done. So when I'm heat embossing white, I do tend to kind of like move it into the light a bit as I'm doing it. That helps to see that I've got all of it. You'll notice that it changes shade slightly and it gets a shine on once it's set. So I said, didn't I need another piece for masking? So you can use masking sheets, which I've used on other videos before. But if you don't have any of those, don't worry. You can just use a piece of copy paper. So this is just out my printer, and this, it doesn't matter what colour I'm stamping with because it's just going to be used as a mask, and it doesn't even need to be stamped correctly really. So I'm just going to trim around the edge of that. So I'm just going to go on the line, and because this is a geometric design, it is super easy. I'm not going to worry about cutting around the antennae though, because they're just thin lines. There's not like a central part to them. So you'll see the bit that I'm going to do next, it won't be affected by those at all. So my plan is to create a kind of stripe down the side that I stencil through, but obviously I do not want it to, when I stencil through the area, I don't want it to go into the lovely gaps and design of the butterfly, because I'm going to do something different in that area. So it basically gives the illusion of all kind of different layers, masking does, without actually using die cuts and things. So that's my mask, and that will fit directly on top. Just get some low tack tape and just hold that in position. I might need 2 little bits, or you can use If you've got stencil glue, like a low tack glue or tape in a runner, you can use that too. And then just make sure that that is held in the right position. Okay, so I want to stencil not all over this background, but in a kind of strip. So I'm going to use some more low tack tape. This one's actually quite sticky for low tack tape. So I'm pressing on my jumper a little bit just to take a little bit of the tack out. So this is almost like double masking, if you like. So you've got the main mask of the design. So it's picking up bits off my jumper now, but hopefully they won't stay. And adding a second masked off area. I'm using the lines on my board to make sure it's nice and straight. And then I've got this panel in the middle that I can stencil through. And the stencil I'm going to use today is from the fuchsia set that we did, the stamp and die, but it's got this lovely kind of foliage part to it as well. So I thought, wouldn't that be nice to start doing some foliage that kind of comes from behind the butterfly. And I'm just going to use a green, this crushed olive ink to go through that. Got a little brush here. What I do need to be careful of as well is not making sure there's any ink. You could even use some spare bits of card or paper to completely cover up those side bits, but I'll attempt to just be careful. It's quite a delicate stencil this, so I'm just going quite gently with this brush. Let's have a look. Oh, that looks pretty. So let's go again down here. Okay, and then one more. Let's do one more kind of coming from the top of the card here. Lovely. Right, let's do a bit of a reveal. So I'm going to be careful because of this tape. I don't want it to bring up any of my card. So this is the first bit. So I find if I bend it right back and then pull gently. And then the next piece. Starting to pull on that butterfly. I mean, if you're not bothered about using that again, then don't worry, just tear it off. But I tend to try and keep any masks that I make because then I can use them on another card. So you've got that nice crisp edge there on the border. And then the butterfly, which we need to make pop a little bit more now. But that part I'm really happy with. So it's a nice idea to stencil through a kind of your own border, your own shape that you've made. So let's now add some colour to that butterfly and make it pop out. I'm going to use a little bit of watercolour and the heat embossing is going to kind of resist this watercolour, so it should just stay in all the different areas of the design. So let's get some nice bright pink. I'm going to just stick into pink and green on this card. I just love that combination. So I'm going in and adding some just random areas of quite concentrated colour, and then dip my brush in a little bit, and like we do when we're going to blend out some watercolour, just catching the edges. The only place I'm being really careful is just by the edge so we don't go over. So this is going to give us areas of dark and areas of light colour. And they're going to be separated by those heat embossed lines. So I'm just working my way around. I can always go back into the palette and get some more colour if I need to. It just makes that butterfly shape really come alive. Have a bit more dark around here. It's nice to kind of vary your areas. Have some dark, have some light. And that's the butterfly. Oh, I've got a little bit, his head. Or her head. Okay, and then I'm going to add some splats as well of the pink. May go back and add some green ones, I'm not sure yet. We'll see how that goes. Just going to dry that off, just so we can handle it a little bit easier and we don't smudge any areas. We should be able to handle that okay now. And what do we need to do next? We need a sentiment for that, don't we? So I'm going to use the Friends Forever sentiments, which are these kind of sentiments within these paint striped. So that's great for using your inks. Yeah, let's do... Which one should we do? There's loads in here. Congratulations, you do you. Hugs and kisses, let's do that. And just need some card. So you could do this heat embossed on, yeah, let's do heat embossed on black, shall we? Okay, so I've got a little strip of black prepared there. Just run over with my anti-static. And then I think I've cut this just to the right size. And I'll do this in gold, but I'll show you after as well how easy it is to use for inks, whether you want to do black on white, and of course that the sentiment comes out as the negative rather than normal sentiments where you're stamping your colour onto the words. So this is like the reverse, where whatever card you've got below it. So let's put the powder on there, but just very quickly, while I've still got that out, just show you how that looks as well on black. So think about if you've got coloured inks, you're not using very much or anything like that. You can see there how effective that is, just black on white as well. Use whatever you've got to hand. Okay. So let's see if we can still get, I'm sure I've done this before where I've used these sentiments and you can still read the hugs and kisses or whatever it is. Get that heat set. So that's really effective. It almost looks like it's debossed into the embossing powder, which is quite cool. So that's our sentiment. So yeah, I'm thinking about maybe a couple of little green splats on there as well. I think it just needs something a little bit extra. So just grab my brush. I've got plenty of greens over here already on my palette. Just add a bit more of a yellowy green, just to bring in the tone of that yellowy green that we used for those leaves. Okay, dry those off. Just think that adds just a little bit more depth. Put everything together. So I've got my 5x7 card blank with my grey, and my glue that is clogged up. I know you all ask about Horse, my dog, and where he is on the video. So he's just woken up. He's been sunbathing in the sunshine on the window ledge, and he's just woken up now. So I'm sure he will be sticking his head under the camera any minute to say hi. You coming? Oh, hello. Oh, that was good timing, wasn't it? To say hi to everybody. You must know when I'm coming towards the end of the videos, don't you think? Bless you. Got a bit of hay fever. And you were all asking how he's doing with his allergies. He's doing much better. We seem to be controlling it. I don't know what it was that we still don't 100% know what it is sometimes that causes his crazy reactions. So I'm just adding on top of that grey mat and layer, just adding on. So this is a nice clean looking card, but actually you've done, if you have a go at this, you'll have been putting lots of different skills and effort into making it look that really pretty. Do I want to cover the, I feel like I'm covering that lovely butterfly if I put it there. Maybe just down here. Just going to grab some tape. Actually, I'll use my glue gel just to give that a little bit of height, because otherwise it's completely flat. If you want it to be completely flat because you're going to post, and you can save on your postage then, because you can just put a normal stamp on, then go for it, just glue it down. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that along the bottom there. You could add some gems or sequins as well, but I don't feel like that needs it. I think it's really nice and soft, and a real nice combo of techniques there for you as well. Embossing, stamping, masking, watercolouring, stenciling, all those nice lovely things. So I will be back on Sunday 1 PM, but like I say, look out after this video goes out, there will be an announcement about what's happening for next Thursday's studio. As fingers crossed all goes well, I will be back in the Stamps by Me studio live at 1 PM next Thursday. So take care guys, and I will see you then. Bye.